constructed in New York City. In March, the DEP responded to our request for the pedestrian access promised as part of the filtration plant project. The agency's report, which was 2 years in the making, only offered consideration of a 3-day pedestrian access pilot 2 years from now. While I understand the security concerns, I believe that those concerns can be addressed well enough to allow for the public access to the Jerome Park Reservoir. I ask DEP here tonight to embrace its neighbors as a resource for even greater security by permitting our seniors and other community residents to enjoy leisurely strolls, parents with children to take entertaining walks, and the more athletically and health-conscious inspired members of our community to jog around the perimeter of the reservoir. The DEP will be enhancing vigilance, not creating greater risk. The DEP even allows boating and fishing throughout the reservoir system. Why can't Bronxites enjoy the perimeter views of the Jerome Park Reservoir? The DEP's report casts a shadow of doubt on the agency's sincerity to fulfill their commitment of pedestrian access along the perimeter of the reservoir. I find it hard to believe that the DEP's labored for 2 years preparing their access report to offer a mere 3 days of access and then expect the community to wait an unspecified amount of time for an actual long-term plan to be implemented. We should use the 2 coming years before the filtration plant becomes operational to create a long-term plan for public access to the reservoir. As the DEP's report points out, Bronx civic leaders and advocates have been working with agency to achieve public access for years. The Jerome Park Conservancy was created in the mid-1990s for the very purpose of advancing plans for access. Additionally, the CMC has made access to the reservoir perimeter a priority since it was established 6 years ago. I believe my constituents have earned the right to expect a greater and more expeditious commitment from DEP to provide pedestrian access to the reservoir's perimeter. I want to recognize the Department of Parks and Recreation's plan to provide an enhanced jogging pathway along partial length of the adjacent parklands. This partial pathway project, however, should not be construed as the fulfillment of the DEP's commitment to access along the perimeter of the reservoir. The restoration of these parklands are desperately needed and would benefit from the restoration of the natural landscape, including special plantings, more trees, and better maintenance of existing lawns and trees, and possibly some checkered tables. In closing, I want to underline for the DEP that the Jerome Park Reservoir is not only a major civic amenity for several of our West Bronx neighborhoods, but represents a historically significant part of our Bronx's heritage. The reservoir was designed, built, and opened as a reservoir park, and access should be returned to the community as it was originally intended and agreed upon by the DEP, as a reservoir with a pedestrian pathway along its perimeter. Thank you for coming out tonight. I look forward to hearing from your thoughts and how you think that we could come to some type of amicable agreement. I want to start by calling up those elected officials who represent the area. I would hope that they can share their thoughts and do so in a way where we can also leave enough time for the community to chime in. In saying that, I would love for one of the members of the CMC, the local city council member, Councilman Oliver Coppell, to come up, please.